Everything they told you about the Minneapolis car ramming was a lie. First, they told you the agent was never hit.
The ICE agent walked away with a hip injury that he might as well have gotten from closing a refrigerator door with his hips. He was not injured. I've seen worse injuries from doing that. And so give me a break. No, he was not ran over. He walked out of there with a hop in his step.
Then they said this was just a mom stuck in traffic.
It's horrifying to watch. And to think about this 37-year-old woman drops her kid off at school, not involved in protest activity or anything, seems to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
They also said she was a legal observer.
She died trying to be a legal assistant to legal observer to look out for the interests of the most vulnerable members of our community. And she leaves behind a lot of people who love and admire her.
None of this is true. New video from the ICE agent that was rammed was just released, proving he was hit. The woman was there to block the op, and she wasn't a lawyer. Watch.
I'm not mad at you. Show your face. I'm not mad at you. It's okay. We don't change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the car.
Get out of the car.
Whoa!
Now, we don't know whether this woman intended to hit the agent with the car or was peeling off, but she accelerated right towards him. Legally, looks justified. But we wish the officer hadn't been in front of the car. It appears he fired his weapon as he was getting clipped. The woman, on foot, calling the agent fat, was the driver's lesbian partner. And they didn't just make a wrong turn and get stuck in the snow. They'd been stalking the ICE officers all day, interfering with their raids. Video shows the car was blocking traffic for 4 minutes, refusing to leave and not complying with orders. And she waited until the agent was in front of the car and the other agent was grabbing onto the door handle before she accelerated, while the partner screams, "Drive, baby, drive." Fox's DHS sources confirmed today that Renee Good was a trained member of ICE Watch. It's a coalition of activists whose mission it is to make ICE's job as difficult as possible. Here's a flyer from ICE Watch that directs people to block the kidnappers' cars and for white witnesses to put their bodies in front of the person that's being kidnapped. See what's going on here? This is an intelligently designed stagecraft. A fellow ICE watcher called Renee an anti-ICE warrior. Now, every vigilante in Minneapolis wants to come out and play.
If I continually see you following us, interfering with us, honking your horn, blocking our cars, you have a very high probability of making a really bad decision and being arrested today.
Yeah, there's a lot of ice around here.
Just so you know, if we continue to have you follow us, okay, have fun. Don't make a bad decision today.
These women think it's a game. They could just lay down wheels in the middle of traffic. They can tailgate federal agents, box them in, and alert Eagles of impending searches. Our own Matt Finn was doing an ICE ride along in Minneapolis when they got chased down. Watch.
Okay, so in the distance is a blue Rivian, an electric truck. It's been trailing us now for miles. What are you guys going to do?
If that individual does anything that would indicate that they're going to impede our federal law enforcement operation, we're going to stop. We're going to give them a warning. And then from there, they will be arrested.
That SUV is also trailing you and beeping at you right now.
That is correct.
These warriors, mostly women, have nothing better to do in the middle of the day on a weekday than to drive around and block immigration cops from doing their jobs. Jobs they were hired to do because people voted for it. Here's how it works. They look for tinted out windows, out-of-state plates, and then they shoot out coordinates on encrypted apps with hundreds of members so that ICE warriors can hit the streets and swarm agents. One of them told a Minneapolis paper they'd rather spend a night in jail than see a neighbor locked up for months or be deported. Let's be honest. These activists don't even know these illegals. They don't know their names, where they live. A lot of them have issues and are looking for attention. They're going after ICE agents in street clothes now. One report says a gaggle of women followed ICE agents who weren't even in uniform into a restaurant and hassled them, screamed at them so loudly the guys had to leave without breakfast. Patriotic men in uniform are getting run out of diners in America. But MS-13 can sit down and order huevos rancheros. No bueno. One woman spit a loogie at an agent. Enough's enough. Here comes the cuffs.
Step back. She hit a vehicle.
There's a term for this. It's called suicidal activism. Remember suicide by cop? People are so dangerous, they dare officers to shoot them.
You want to shoot me? Shoot me! Go ahead!
This is what's going on now. A lot of these women want to be victims, and the Democrat politicians have no problem pushing these women into the front lines. Human shields for the party machine. Remember what the base said this summer? There needs to be blood to grab the attention of the public and the press. They're taking it seriously. Hips isn't telling his people to be safe.
Some are even being told they need to be more willing to go out there and get shot when fighting. That was a direct quote, get shot when fighting back against some of Trump's policies. How do you respond to that, Leader Jeffries?
Well, we are in a more is more environment in terms of the unprecedented assault on the American way of life.
Democrats are now saying that ICE, just a bunch of trigger-happy killers.
But the truth is that every single person in the United States of America, U.S. citizens, white, black, brown, whoever you are, you have to worry now that an ICE agent is going to come and shoot at you and kill you.
They're saying all illegals aren't criminals, but all ICE agents are. The Maryland dad gets due process. This ICE agent gets none. They're saying put your body on the line because ICE is going to shoot you in cold blood in your car.
The message from this administration is clear. Only they determine the truth. And when their forces come to your city, obey or die. And if you die, you clearly didn't obey.
That's a late-night comedy show. The former governor of Minnesota, Jesse the Body Ventura, no relation, just declared war on the federal government. Watch.
We have leadership now that has destroyed the Constitution. They don't follow it. They could care less about it. Am I right or wrong? I took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I view after January 6th, the Republican Party is a domestic enemy to our Constitution.
Why are the Democrats starting a civil war over foreigners? A civil war over foreigners? I'm confused. Have you ever seen these people fight so hard for Americans? I've never seen it. People who put on a badge and uniform and swear an oath to obey the Constitution every day, they're the enemy? The agents protecting the country from gangs and drugs, they're the ones being called Nazis and being hit with cars? Tim Walz just called Minneapolis the new Gettysburg, and they're drafting women to fight.
I quit my job for this, and I've been having flare-ups and stuff, so it's like I can barely, and I have panic attacks.
She quit her job. So someone's apparently paying these people to protest.
Shame! Shame!
Do you have a job? Do you have a job?
Shame! Shame! I'm getting paid right now!
Vance yesterday said Renee Good was part of a vast left-wing network. We've documented how these people are trained, paid, and organized.
There was a woman screaming, shame, 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 shame. She was a agitator, probably a paid agitator, but in my opinion, she was an agitator, a very high-level agitator, so professional, she wouldn't stop screaming. I said, this isn't a normal situation. This is a professional troublemaker.
These are the same people torching Teslas, chanting Free Palestine at BLM riots. Doesn't matter. They just want to stick it to the man and cause some heat in the streets because something's not right upstairs and they hate their country. Even after Trump was shot, almost killed twice, MSNBC is still calling him a dictator.
Once you have 3.5% of a population protesting nonviolently against a dictator or an authoritarian, that is essentially an unstoppable force that they can't oppose.
What happens to dictators? They get killed, arrested, toppled. You think that's what Mata is asking for? Does she want Trump to get Maduro'd or Gaddafi'd or Saddam'd? First step, light the city on fire.
When the city burned, after George Floyd, all of a sudden there were some charges. So for those who are on the media talking about, don't burn it down, don't set it on fire, let me tell you this, we need justice and we need it now.
Once the cities start burning, they can repeat the Summer of Love, where they scare the country into DEI and defund the police. It's the same MO. Senator Chris Murphy, the same guy who told us he's at war with President Trump, says Democrats' next step is to defund ICE. So if the Democrats win the midterms, ICE is going broke.
I agree that we need congressional restraint to limit or address decisively the lawlessness that the Department of Homeland Security has unleashed on the American people.
Democrats can't win an election or win in court, so they're forcing women to get hurt, so cities burn, to drive Republican numbers down with chaos, so they can swoop into power on a pile of ash and bone and doge Homeland Security.
Do you think ICE should be abolished?
We have to absolutely start over with this agency. And frankly, Kristi Noem and leadership of ICE should be dragged in front of Congress. And let's be clear, how they are acting right now is unconstitutional. So should we throw out this current model of ICE? Absolutely, yes.
So we finally found the one thing Democrats want doged. We're going to keep the money for sex changes in Guatemala, but we're going to strip it from ICE. So now that we understand the strategy, we have to realize the left's tactics, they're only going to get more aggressive. They're going to drive more cars into ICE. They're going to throw their bodies into ICE cars. They're going to spit, kick, hit. It's going to look like a UFC fight. It's going to look like Demolition Derby. Suicide by ICE. That's what you're going to start seeing. So they can frame the federal government as a murderous dictatorship and then take any means necessary to end it. The Trump administration has to be vigilant about all ongoing ICE operations. They need to start setting up perimeters around entire blocks, boosting manpower, providing backup for the safety of the ICE officers and the agitators. Because these guys want blood. That's what they've said. We can't give it to them. They want a civil war. They've said that. Can't give it to them. So be calm, be professional, but be very strong and very aggressive when conducting operations. Make an example out of people. Arrest people for obstruction. Conduct surveillance. Make sure everyone has body cameras. Don't let them interfere with the mission. Mass deportations. That's what you voted for. And that's how you save the country. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.